In this video, I'll discuss the fate of the Targaryens and how the prophecy in the books foreshadowed what had happened with Dany. So stay tuned for that. Hello everyone! Welcome to Ultimate Book Maniacs, your one-stop for book and TV series reviews. I post episode reviews, top 10 and theory videos. So make sure to subscribe this channel. And if you wanna make sure you never miss a video, click the bell icon to turn on notifications. In the first part of this video, I discussed the details I noticed in the series finale and the Stark's storyline. And in this video, I'll discuss my views on the Targaryen storyline. So, let's begin. In the finale, Jon and Dany were the last two Targaryens left alive in the world, and Jon had killed Dany. I can see it as one of George R.R. Martin's original ideas, because during the filming of season 1, somewhere around Ned's beheading scene, George had told one of the directors, I think it was Alan Taylor, that it was a story about Jon and Dany, and the director was shocked to hear it. And in a recent interview with the official Making of Game of Thrones blog, Isaac had confirmed that Bran's ending was exactly as George has planned in the books. He said, David and Dan told me there were two things George had planned for Bran, and that was the Hodor revelation and that he would be king. So that's pretty special to be directly involved in something that is a part of George's vision. It was a really nice way to wrap it up. I can see George planting the story of the Night King as a red herring, making everyone think this is the Song of Ice, aka the White Walkers, and Fire, aka Jon and Dany, while he actually planned it to be a Song of Ice, aka Jon, and Fire, aka Dany. But if this was his idea, we can see it was only a vague outline in his mind. The way the story was rushed, it felt like it was roughly concluded, and it would have been done in a much better way if there had been more episodes and the build-up had been better. I've even heard some fans say that they doubt George even had an ending planned, and that's why he decided to go with whatever David and Dan planned. But given all the foreshadowings George had shown us in the books, I think he knows where he wants to go in the end, even if he hasn't figured out how to get there. One of these foreshadowings include the House of Undying's prophecies. They called Dany the child of three and said, 3 fires must you light, one for life and one for death and one to love. 3 mounts must you ride, one to bed and one to dread and one to love. 3 treasons will you know, one's for blood and one's for gold and one's for love. I have already discussed this prophecy in my Dany's Journey and Predictions Part 2 video. In that video, I had said the betrayal for love could be either Jon or Jorah, but at that time, I had thought they would betray her to save her or something. I guess I was wrong. Anyways, Season 8 shed some new light on this prophecy. Let's take a look at the prophecy now. 3 fires Dany would light, one for life, which would be Drogo's funeral pyre, which gave life to her dragons. One for death, it would probably be the burning of King's Landing, which killed many people and indirectly caused Cersei's death. But in the books, I think it will be Jaime who kills Cersei. And the last one is the one to love. You might notice it's one to love, not for love. So maybe it was a fire that would be loved by others. So it could either be the burning of the slave masters or her killing the whites, which saved Jon and the others. Then 3 mounts she would ride. One to bed, that would be Daario. One to dread, that would be Drogon, because he scares everyone. And one to love, which would either be Jon or Drogo. And 3 treasons will she know. One's for blood, that would be Miri, because she betrayed Dany for revenge. One's for gold. I had said in my Dany's Journey and Predictions video that this gold might not be money but House Lannister, and that someone might betray Dany for House Lannister. So I guess that would be Tyrion. And the last one is Once for Love. And I think that would be Jon. Maybe he did it for the love of his family. Even though he loved Dany, he still killed her to save his sisters. In the beginning, I was so mad at all the inconsistencies in the last 3 episodes and the way things were done. But after looking at these prophecies and how George might have envisioned it, I decided there wasn't any problem with George's story, but with the way it was told by David and Dan. I just wish they had done the usual 10 episodes this season and had given it a little bit more time. David and Dan had also made fun of the Iron Throne, described by George R. R. Martin, which looked like this in a fan art. It shows a huge throne made of thousands of swords, because in the show version, it doesn't look like there are thousands swords in it. But Dany says when she was a little girl and couldn't count more than 20, she envisioned the throne, which basically described what George had explained. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much, and this was probably just a joke. By the way, I had another idea about the dragon in the intro. Do you remember what I had said in my episode 1 review video? Assuming the story on the rings was not in reverse, and it was indeed the future, maybe this dragon is Drogon, and maybe he was taking Dany to the ruins of Valyria. Maybe he will find 3 dragon eggs there, which he can hatch with his dragon fire or something. There used to be a lot of dragons there before the Doom, and no one who goes there survives. So maybe they won't find out about him.
You know what they say? The Doom still rules Valyria. What about the demons and the flames? Aren't you afraid of the Doom?
I'll read a few lines from Fire and Blood. Targaryens are Valyrian to the bone. Valyria is accursed, all men agree, and even the boldest sailor steers well clear of its smoking bones. But we would be mistaken to believe that nothing lives there now. The things we found inside Arya Targaryen live there now, I would submit, along with such other horrors as we cannot even begin to imagine. So, let's assume that Valyria was accursed and the Doom was designed to kill all the Valyrians. But because Daenerys the Dreamer saw the doom of Valyria in her visions, the Targaryens fled Valyria and came to Dragonstone before the Doom. The Valyrians were more than dragon lords. They practiced blood magic and other dark arts as well. That might also explain why the ability to hatch the dragon eggs and the gift of the sight remains his house Targaryen, even though they are not walks or seers like the Starks or the Wildlings. And I'd already explained my theory on why the Starks or the Wildlings have these powers in my Stark Blood theory video. I really hope that theory is true and they will show us what really happened all these years ago in the prequel. Anyways, in the books, both Jon and Dany also have prophetic dreams. Dany's is clearer than Jon's, probably because she is a full-blooded Targaryen. And in one of her visions, she sees a dragon and hears a ripping sound in a great fire and everything burning down around her, even before her dragons were hatched. Anyways, whether it was caused by the dark arts or someone had put a curse on them, the Doom remained in Valyria because some Valyrians were still alive. Although some masters believe that it was just the eruption of the 14 flames, aka the volcanoes of Valyria, that destroyed it.
The hills that split asunder, and the black that ate the skies. Flames that shot so high and hot that even dragons burned.
Drogon has gone to Valyria before, at least in the show. Jorah and Tyrion have travelled through Old Valyria and have seen Drogon fly above it. There must be a reason why they showed Drogon going to their ancestral home. Although in the books, if they had gone to Valyria, it would have hurt Drogon and Jorah and Tyrion would have been burned from the inside out. Their eyes would have exploded and fiery creatures would have been crawling under their skin. At least that's what had happened to Princess Arya Targaryen and Balerion the Black Dread when Balerion had taken her to Valyria. Balerion had wounds as well. Euron was the only one who has claimed to have sailed there and has come back alive. Dany was the last full-blooded Valyrian alive because Jon was half Targaryen and half Stark. But Jon has always been more a Stark than a Targaryen.
The last of the Starks.
I've never been a Stark.
In the books, Jon can even walk into Ghost. He probably won't even count as a Valyrian. What I'm trying to say here is, everyone was wondering where Drogon has taken Dany. If Drogon took Dany, aka the last dead Valyrian, back to their ancestral home, would the curse on Valyria be lifted? Would it become safe again for people to go there? I can't wait to find out in the books. Although, it would probably happen in a dream of spring, and even Winds hasn't come out yet. Let me know what you think about this theory. Also, another passage from Fire and Blood would give you an insight on where Dany went wrong. I'll read the lines from the books. The power of Targaryens derives from their dragons, those fearsome beasts who once laid waste to Harrenhal and destroyed 2 kings upon the field of fire. King Jaehaerys knows this, just as his grandsire Aegon did. The power is always there, and with it, the threat. His Grace also grasps a truth Queen Rhaena does not, however. The threat is most effective when left unspoken. The lords of the realm are proud men all, and little is gained by shaming them. A wise king will always let them keep their dignity. Show them a dragon, aye, they will remember. Speak openly of burning down their halls, boast of how you fed their own kin to your dragons, and you will only inflame them and set their hearts against you. So Dany burning down the small folks of King's Landing would have inflamed and united all lords of Westeros. Even if Yara showed some loyalty to Dany in the end, that could be the reason why no one fought really hard on killing Jon. By the way, I also noticed that Jon was not kept in the black cells, since those didn't have any windows when Ned was there. Being kept in the black cells in the complete dark is a way harsher punishment. But it seems like Jon must have been kept in some upper level cells. It could either be due to the fact that no one else knew the way to the black cells, or maybe they didn't seem he needed harsh punishment. What do you think? Grey Worm was the only one who might have really wanted to avenge Dany. Another thing that didn't make any sense was why was Grey Worm waiting for a new king or queen to make a decision for Jon's fate? He wouldn't have been a subject to the new king, and he shouldn't have waited to avenge his queen's death. Dany had freed them, and he has always been extremely loyal to Dany. By the way, Jon had betrayed Drogon too. Drogon was on guard outside the throne room. He wouldn't have let anyone else in, but when he saw Jon, he let him go inside. It was kind of like his equivalent of accepting Jon as his dad. And Jon had killed Dany. So why did Drogon left Jon alive and attacked the Iron Throne instead? It doesn't matter if Jon was a Targaryen. Even during the Dance of Dragons, dragons have killed other Targaryens before. Although, the fact that Dany had loved Jon might have been the thing that stopped him from killing Jon. In Fire and Blood, it was said that the dragons could sense their riders' feelings or emotions and act accordingly. What's sad about the finale is the fact that Dany didn't even get to sit on the Iron Throne after going through so much to get there. Also, I think she touches the same sword she was about to touch in her vision in the House of Undying. Do you remember my episode 5 promo pictures review video? I said Jon was carrying 2 swords. It turns out the other hilt was not for another sword. It was a dagger, and it was the same dagger Jon had used to kill Dany. Although I didn't know at that time that Jon would use it for this purpose. It's the second time Jon has chosen honor over his love, and Mr. Aemon telling Jon that most men choose love over honor might have been another foreshadowing. This was the reason why I think that John was more honorable than Ned because Ned had chosen love over honor, and John has chosen honor over love twice. First, Ygritte, and then Dany, whereas Rhaegar and Ned were never able to choose honor over love. As for how I felt about this season, I've seen the fan reactions and how divided they are over it. Some absolutely loved it and some hated it. Me? I loved the first 3 episodes, especially the battle at Winterfell. I thought it was epic. But then, I hated episode 4 and 5. There were so many beautiful scenes in these episodes. I don't think you'll ever find more beautiful scenes in any other series. And the acting was great too. But story-wise, I felt like it lacked something. There were too many plot holes in this season, and I'm not even counting the cup or the water bottles or the camera in the show. The fact that Dany was so focused on her enemies, aka Cersei and her allies, yet she forgot about her enemy, aka the Iron Fleet. Or how Drogon couldn't take out 10 ships in episode 4 but took out almost 100 in episode 5. Or that, when Dany heard the bells, she decided to make it personal by attacking everyone except the person who had actually killed Missandei, which actually made no sense. Also, is it just me, or was Drogon larger in the Spoils of War's EW picture? He seemed to have shrunk when he was burning down the Iron Throne, just like Ghost and Greywind have also shrunk in the past. Like I've said before, even though I liked how it had ended for House Stark, I'm not completely on board with this season. What about you? Anyways, it's time for the comment shoutout now. Today's comment shoutout goes to Richard Hopp, who said, I love this video. I completely missed the details you noticed. Please do more videos like this for the other episodes of this season. Thank you, Richard. I'm really glad you liked my video. I have posted my other episodes breakdown videos before. You can check them out by clicking on the Game of Thrones playlist or from the videos section on my channel. Although, I did notice a few details or signs which might indicate what they might show in the prequel. I'll discuss these signs in another video. So, what did you think about this episode? Don't forget to tell us your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, please click on the like button below, share the video and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Bye bye. See you in my next video.